This video is brought to you by my generous backers over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get cool perks like access to the Discord, seeing the videos a week before anyone else, or exclusive Patreon only gameplays, then feel free to check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. Two Celestia commanders. Luckily that isn't Sigarda, host of Herons, otherwise I'd be very worried. Siona, captain of Pyleas, I think it is. Siona, captain of Pyleas, versus Sigarda, Heron's Grace. Wild growth goes on any land, so we can put that on the plains. And yeah, probably just hold up the Enlightened Shooter. Let's keep here. Notice King Kill has been going for a lot of Celestia commanders recently. I think I played against their Calamity deck, which is just board wipe tribal pretty much. We get into an Enchantress effect, which is really good, so that's actually something for us to do on turn 2 if we want to. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go for the wild growth now. Let's get a forest with that. Just grabbing a basic forest here because it is much safer to have your wild growth and other auras on basic lands than it is on non-basic lands. Strip Mine has been banned from 1v1 now. And the Thawing Glaciers is a tactic they went for in their Calamity deck as well. I wonder if they're just swapping around between commanders and seeing what works best for them. We've gone for a Deserted Temple as well. Okay, an Arcane Signet. We will go for the plains into... I think we're okay to go Arcane Signet actually, and then we can go Enlightened Shooter. We could actually go Enlightened Shooter for a combo win. So yeah, let's just hold up the Arcane Signet. And then next turn we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So we'll be a turn away from winning, but we can go for our commander into Alpha Authority to help protect that. Problem is, we're showing our opponent that we've got the combo, assuming they know about it. Okay, an Elvish Mystic from our opponent. Yeah, I think they're playing slowly enough that we can just go for this. If they've got some kind of board wipe to take us off of our commander, then so be it. So what we can go for here, and I'm certainly not going to go for this every time, but I do want to show it all to you, is Shielded by Faith. That will give us infinite tokens. Won't win us the game straight away, because our opponent might have a board wipe, but we'll see what they have in hand when we pass over to them. So obviously we draw into the Shielded by Faith. Let's go for our commander. And then we can't afford the Shielded by Faith. We will look at the top 7 cards and grab an aura though. There is a Wolf Willow Haven. So I would have left a land untapped had I have known we were going to get into that. Not to worry, we'll just go for Alpha Authority and we'll get ourselves a human token. And now what happens is, we just need to hope that we get through to our turn again, but we'll go Shielded by Faith and we can move that onto each token that enters and it will keep triggering our commander forever until we're done making enough human tokens. Shielded by Faith is luckily a May ability, so you don't have to break it with a sack outlet. Now, another dork from our opponent. They are on double white now, so it's more likely that they could go for a Wrath. Let's go for... Yeah, we can actually go for Bear Umbra, can't we? So let's go for the Wolf Willow Haven onto the plains first, because our aim is to untap our commander here. And then we'll dump the Bear Umbra onto Siona. And that's just to protect our commander from a board wipe. If they go for Austere Command or something like that, then that won't help us, but our commander will stay in play at least. Then we swing in with our humans. And we only have to swing in, we don't have to hit our opponent to untap with the Bear Umbra. So now we've got 2, 4 and 5 mana available. And we will grab ourselves... Oh, we don't have double white. Oh, how annoying. I didn't work out the mana properly, clearly. Well, that's a mistake. This is my first time playing this deck, so don't feel too badly about it, and it gives my opponent more of a chance to stay in it as well, assuming that they don't have removal for us. Yeah, buying our opponent an extra turn there. They activate their Thawing Glaciers again. Yeah, I thought I had the double white off of the Wolf Willow Haven. Oh, but it is specifically... Yeah, I thought we could choose the colour on this. It's actually specifically green that it taps for. Same as the Wild Growth. And our opponent just continuing to ramp and pass. We do have Crashing Drawbridge in the deck to give all of our stuff haste, but that won't help us at the moment. So let's just go in for this now, before I mess up again. We'll put Shielded by Faith onto Siona. That will draw us a card. And we get into Open the Armory, which we can't cast quite yet. We could go for Phyrexian Altar, and yeah, we've pretty much got infinite mana with Phyrexian Altar. So I'm just going to say yes manually, because if I automatically say yes, then Magic Online is going to make a bazillion tokens instantly, I imagine, and just go absolutely insane. Now, what can we grab with Open the Armory is the question, because we've got as much mana as we like thanks to that Phyrexian Altar. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there, and then we'll go in for the Phyrexian Altar. Okay, well, it looks like my opponent is just doing the old Magic Online AFK trick. This player doesn't normally do that, so I might actually give them the benefit of the doubt, but just been thinking about what I ought to do here. I think with Phyrexian Altar, it would be a wise idea to go for Rancor with Open the Armory. That is, search for an aura. And what we can do then is put it on a human soldier, sacrifice the said human soldier for green mana with Phyrexian Altar. Rancor will go into the bin, then back into our hand, and we'll be able to use that floating mana to do the same again. That will infinitely trigger Siona, and it will infinitely trigger the Enchantress's Presence as well. And there we go, our opponent finally timing out. And no, they didn't say anything to us, so like I said, I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, so we can make infinite tokens again and draw a load of cards with Enchantress's Presence. So even if our opponent had a board wipe there, I dare say we could have stayed in it. We would have kept this human, because it's indestructible, and we would have kept our Sigarda thanks to the Umbra as well. So yeah, they might have delayed us a turn or two, but I think we would have been able to answer it no matter what they did. Obviously not a complete game, so I'll try again. Siona, captain of the Pyleas, versus Atarka Worldrender. And we've got mana again. We've got white mana in the Signet, so I'm going to try that one. We can go for a turn 2 Signet here. So we go in for the Wild Growth again. Okay, a Willow Haven will make that thing tap for 3 green mana. And I think we can actually go for that this turn. Let's go Rogue's Passage. Let's see here. We'll have to go like that into the Signet. Yeah, I don't think there's anything fancy we can do here. Let's just go in for more ramp. Put it onto our basic again. I don't like piling a bunch of auras onto one basic just in case there's an acidic slime or something like that. But we don't have much choice here. And the aim of the game in this deck is to be as fast as we can. Our opponent goes for ramp and they do not go for a tap land. Getting into that plains isn't terrible, so let's drop that. And then we've got 3 mana there, 4, 5 and 6. So we can go for Idyllic Tutor. Yeah, I think Idyllic Tutor is alright. And I'll actually try and show you this combo again. But we'll see what we draw into first. Okay, another piece of ramp in the fertile ground. So do we want to play Flickering Ward and see if our opponent's got removal? This is 1 mana of any colour, so we can actually go for Flickering Ward, play and bounce it, so that we don't waste the mana, and this will get us into a human as well. Alright, that comes down really quickly, so Flickering Ward, choose a colour. We'll just say red with that. This is protection. Protection from the chosen colour, yeah, so I'm actually not going to flicker it here, because I'd rather keep the protection. I completely forgot what Flickering Ward does, if I'm honest. Literally just play that for the human soldiers and the card draw if we've got an Enchantress in play. But we may be able to make a bunch of humans again this game next turn. Our opponent went for Game Trail. They have revealed a mountain to us. And then they get into a Bloodbraid Elf, which takes them into Reclamation Sage, so, well, don't really care too much about losing the Flickering Ward. I'd rather it stayed on there, but it's better than them getting rid of the Indestructible Aura. So we'll just take the 3 here. It's also better than them going after our mana as well. Let's drop a Forest. And we'll go for Idyllic Tutor. I'm actually going to go for the Celestia Signet mana. Or we could just go Boonweaver Giant, couldn't we? That'll grab it. You may search for an aura and attach it to the Boonweaver Giant. Yeah, Idyllic Tutor actually grabs us more stuff, whereas Boonweaver Giant is probably always going to grab this. So we'll go for the Boonweaver instead. And actually over-tapping there. Let's use Boonweaver's ability. We do not want to grab the Flickering Ward. Okay. Like I said, haven't played this deck before, so I'm goofing all over the place. Boonweaver didn't allow us to... When it enters the battlefield, search your graveyard, hand, and or library for an aura. Maybe I had to click on here. Yeah, I thought it was cycling through the graveyard, the hand, and then our library, so I clicked done, saying that I was done with the graveyard, but apparently that's not how it works. We'll just try again with the Idyllic Tutor. I'm buying my opponent turns all over the place with this deck so far. Okay, our opponent swings in again. I'm just going to get rid of both of their creatures here, or try to. And then it is Molten Disaster. X is 3. X damage to each creature without flying and each player. Yeah, so the protection from red actually would have been relevant there. At least we get to recast our Siona. And we'll get some card advantage with her. Alright, Command Tower, just play that immediately. Now how much mana have we got? We've got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could actually go for a mana doubler here. Or we could just go in for our commander again. Let's just go in for our commander. And we'll see what we can grab off the top. Oh, and there we go, Shielded by Faith. So let's just go for that. Go for the double white. Yeah, that was a stroke of luck. Looking at the top 7 cards. In fact, just out of curiosity, let's see what Modo does. If we say always yes and yield. Let's see if it completely goes crazy. Oh no, it actually goes at quite a steady pace. You're seeing this in real time, so yeah, I can actually stop that whenever I want then. If I feel like it's going really sluggishly, then I can remove the auto yields at any point. Yeah, so that's good to know. I'm glad I did that little experiment. Okay, and our opponent decides to scoop to that. I perhaps should have seen if they were going to draw into another board wipe, because we don't have infinite here, or we do have infinite, but we don't have a win. I imagine this is going to happen a lot with this deck. They have to just hope to get into a board wipe. If they don't have one, then we just swing in with all of our tokens next turn. Yeah, so goofing a couple of times in a row. I need to learn how to operate Boonweaver Giant, apparently. 2 anticlimactic games, so I will try again. And failing playing against randoms, I'm going to have to rely on my dear patrons for a full game. Okay, hopefully third time's a charm. Siona, captain of the Pyleas, versus Zacama, Primal Calamity this time. And I'm actually going to keep a less good hand in the hope that we don't get as fast a win off. And then maybe our opponent will stick it out when we do eventually get a win. Drawing to another land. We'll grab ourselves a plains with this. Then we can go forest next turn. And then the Canopy Vista will come in untapped. And we can obviously go for land tax here. And now it is an Incubation Druid from our opponent. That is 1 mana of any type. If it has a plus counter on it, then you get 3 mana. Land tax triggers, we will more than likely always say yes to that. Let's grab a couple of forests and a plains. And then we'll see if we actually draw into something other than a land with land tax. Very often you end up drawing into, what do we want to enchant? Doesn't actually matter, does it? We'll just go after the forest. Yeah, very often when you grab 3 lands with land tax, you draw into another land. It happens all the time. And I have heard other people say that that happens. So it's not just my paranoia. Just ditch a forest and see what else our opponent's got for us here. It is another tap land, so they're not going as fast as they would typically like to with Zacama, in my experience. And then it is Sakura Tribelder. They are down to 4 cards in hand, but they will be at 5 mana. Unless they can get some counters on this thing. They might actually just tap out and put the counters on this with Adapt next turn. Then they would be on 4, 5, 6, 7. And their commander is 8, I think. It's 9 mana in Naya. Let's continue to thin out our library. Eventually we can empty our library of basics with land tax. And not getting into a land again, so we've been pretty lucky with that so far. Canopy Vista needs to see, yeah, definitely will come in untapped. So let's just attempt to go for our Siona and hope that we don't regret not waiting for the canopy cover. Get some excellent card advantage from Siona. And, oh, it's a Rancor, okay. I'm not going to put that on our commander because she's not going to die and therefore won't give us the Rancor back. Now then, let's get rid of a couple of plains. And then 2 more. We'll just go for a forest. And we'll get rid of the brushland as well. Alright, our opponent plays out a tap land. Let's see if they go for the Adapt onto Incubation Druid. That is exactly what they do. So now I think they've got, that is 5, 6, 7, 8. They do have enough for their Zacama. We'll just grab some forests. And there we go, getting into a land finally. Let's have a look here. We've got 2, 4 and 5 mana. So I think we just go Canopy Cover first of all. And that will help protect our commander. Okay, I thought our opponent was going AFK for a while there. Let's yield to that. We get a human. And now we've got something to put Rancor onto. And like we saw in the previous game, if we get into Phyrexian Altar, we can actually go infinite with Rancor and sacrificing that for green. And we can just play Rancor over and over again for infinite humans. Although we'd actually need a token doubler there. So it's actually infinite card draw. Yeah, and it was like that in the previous game, wasn't it? If we've got an Enchantress in play, then it's infinite card draw. Okay, I dare say we're going to be seeing a Zacama. So let's see what they can do. We'll ditch our Dryad Arbor. And there it is. When Zacama comes down, it's going to untap all the lands. Our opponent has 2 activations on that, thanks to the 6 lands they have in play. And so now they can do 3 damage to a creature, destroy an artifact or enchantment, or gain 3 life. They might want to go after the canopy cover. Nope, they go after land tax. I mean, that's the last thing we care about. Yeah, I would think they would want to go after the canopy cover. They could have gone canopy cover onto a lightning bolt, but recasting Siona isn't something we really care about. And I might have put it in the bin anyway, because Sun Titan can get it back. And she triggers on entry, doesn't she? It's not casting. Yeah, whenever she enters, look at the top 7. So she works well with flickering effects. Alright, and then going after the canopy cover. So, like I said, we can just go after that with Sun Titan. Don't really care about that. They can lightning bolt Sun Titan a couple of times to get Sun Titan out of the way. Yeah, so actually it might be a good idea to put canopy cover onto our Sun Titan. Yeah, let's surprise our opponent with a Rogue's Passage, because if Sun Titan survives, then we might be able to go... Oh, but actually, yeah, our opponent can go destroy the canopy cover and then 2 lightning bolts onto Sun Titan anyway. Yeah, alright, so let's just... Angelic Destiny is an angel. When the enchanted creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Yeah, let's try and encourage our opponent to point removal at Siona. And we can hold on to the Sun Titan this turn. Ready to bring back Siona for free. I assume our opponent's going to concentrate on getting rid of our commander. So we'll just drop a forest this turn and then swing in. Like that. We can... Yeah, we can risk losing our Rancor. Yeah, I'm not going to block Zacama, so it doesn't matter. We might as well try and push through as much damage as we can. Our commander has flying, so... Oh, actually, that has reach. Did not spot that. Luckily, our opponent isn't blocking it anyway. Alright, so first off, our opponent goes for the enchantment. I think it's whenever the enchanted creature dies, it comes to our hand, so it's not like Rancor, so we actually won't get that back. Let's make sure she hits the graveyard. I'm trying to get our opponent to tap as much mana as they can. And there we go. We go in for the lightning bolt onto our commander. She will go into the graveyard. And then they just go for the Croson Verge being sacrificed, so not getting 3 activations with their commander. Now they've got Trample and Vigilance with their commander, so would make perfect sense for them to swing in here. There's actually not too much point in us blocking, I don't think. Yeah, 1 toughness, 2 toughness across. Yeah, saving ourselves 2 points of damage across 2 turns doesn't make any difference. That would be 25 points of commander damage, so yeah, might as well leave the human soldier in play. Okay, and we just get into a land. Didn't want to see a land there. We're not going to make use of Rogue's Passage this turn because we're going in for Sun Titan. So let's go for a Savannah. Then we'll go for Sun Titan. Sun Titan grabs us back our Siona. And that triggers Siona, and we'll hope that we've got Song of the Dryads or something on top. Well, Shielded by Faith. We've got 1 more attack from Zacama unless they can double strike it or buff it or something. So we'll take the Shielded by Faith there. Now then, our commander is going to be 5 mana if it ends up back in the command zone. I think they'll go after the Sun Titan and Siona. They should go after her first, so that we don't know whether to put her in the bin or not. We might be able to hold them off of an attack, actually. Let's just hold everything back. Yeah, we'll see what they do. They should go for the lightning bolt here, so that we don't know whether or not to put it in the bin or our command zone, and then go after Sun Titan, assuming they want to do that. That will be 3, 3, and they'll have 1 mana left up, now 2 mana if this comes in untapped. So they've got 3 activations with their Zacama. Now, they actually take us off of our combo here. if they hold up mana for the Shielded by Faith, they might not know what the combo is though. So if they hold up 3 mana, they can actually take us off Shielded by Faith, although Sun Titan can get it back. Okay, they go for Woodfall Primus, which means we've got infinite tokens next turn. What are they blowing up with this? Well, if they go after Wild Growth, that would make sense. And that's exactly what they're going for. That takes us down 2 mana. We can get the Wild Growth back with Sun Titan, but it will mean throwing that away. Canopy Cover does not make it unblockable because it's reach. Yeah, flying and reach. And our opponent Zacama does have reach. Because what we could do otherwise is go for Sun Titan, swing in, put the Canopy Cover on it so it's unblockable. That doesn't help us here. Luckily for us, they don't swing in with Zacama, so that gives us another turn. Birds of Paradise, don't really like Birds of Paradise. We can't go for Rogue's Passage with the Sun Titan and go for Shielded by Faith in one turn. So let's just... yeah, we'll go for Shielded by Faith onto the human soldier. And then I think I will swing in with Sun Titan because we'll have enough blockers. And now it's just a case of seeing if our opponent sticks around once they have seen the chain. Okay, our opponent's going for... oh, I think our opponent... has targeted wrong there. They can go for 3 damage on Zacama in response. Yeah, they've triggered that wrong. That's unfortunate. I mean, I did it with the Boom Weaver before, so we all do it. Our opponent accidentally dealt 3 damage with their commander to the Incubation Druid. So it was a risky play anyway. My plan was really to go for the Shielded by Faith, like we have done, and then if our opponent blows it up in response, or blows a creature up in response, then we can grab it back with Sun Titan and carry on. But our opponent made an error there, so we are going to get to keep all the tokens. Now I'm just going to make a huge army of tokens so that we've got enough to block our opponent's big tramplers with. And our opponent's at a point where they need a board wipe. Okay, so we've got 50 odd tokens there. I'm just going to stop at that. We can go... I'll put down the Rogue's Passage just in case our opponent goes for a wheel. I wanted to surprise them with that, but I don't think it matters at this point. We'll go for Birds of Paradise. Yeah, might as well put Shielded by Faith onto Birds of Paradise. And then we could swing in with the Sun Titan to get back the Canopy Cover, but I think I'm actually going to leave it. Yeah, just in case we need to use Sun Titan to get back the Shielded by Faith, like I said. I went through a couple of ideas in my head there, but obviously our opponent messed up on their Zacama activation. Now again, it might be that they can go, that is 3, 6... if they get a land, they can go for 4 activations on Zacama, which is 2 here, 1 here, and maybe 1 here, and we actually don't have the Shielded by Faith combo then with our commander. And they do have another land, so that is 4 activations. Let's see what they want to do here. Okay, that is Path of Discovery, don't care about that. So now they've got 2 activations with their commander. And they tap for white, so that might be a board wipe. It is Gisela, which is we deal half damage. Is it rounded down? It is rounded up, so we can deal damage to them still. Yeah, it doesn't actually affect our tokens all that much, but they deal double damage to us. Yeah, don't really mind Gisela. Oh, and that's a point. The Shielded by Faith, if we have it on auto yes, we can accidentally put it on our opponent's creatures. Yeah, I didn't realise it triggered for our opponent's creatures as well, so that's worth knowing. Constantly learning stuff with this deck. The 3 games you're seeing here are the first 3 games that I've ever played this deck. Creatures your opponents control enter tapped. That would have been relevant a turn sooner. And our opponent has not left their Zacama activations up. I think everything they've done here, they ought to have gone for their Zacama activations instead. Anyway, let's go. We'll block like that. And we're just going to block with a bunch of tokens here. And then the 0 power on our bird is actually going to come in handy here. We can block all 6 points of damage with our tokens and the Birds of Paradise without actually killing the Wooded Foothills. And that means that it doesn't trigger again with Persist. So we go 5 tokens and a Birds of Paradise. And that is 5 damage dealt to this thing. And it gets no damage through. And that is 3, 6, and 9. Oh, actually, we've got 3 power there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can pull 2 back. Yeah, there we go. Nearly threw away 2 tokens for nothing. Don't think it matters. Okay, a little bit of damage got through there. I must have miscalculated something. Oh, it would be the Zacama. Yeah, I was counting power and not toughness. And, oh yeah, and it was half power as well, thanks to Gisela, so, yeah, messed up. That blocking step there, I thought we'd lose the Zacama. But I think we're going wide anyway. And our opponent scoops, and wow, just get immediately kicked through to the lobby. Yeah, going wide there, I think we had something like 40 or 60 tokens, and the damage is rounded up with Gisela. So we certainly would have lost some things in combat, but we were going wide on them, and yeah, managed to battle our way through a Zacama. I think if they played a little bit differently with their activations, they might have given us a harder time there. But I don't think they were going to stop the horde of tokens, thanks to us having that Sun Titan. Yeah, maybe they could have played that differently and given us a harder time. This is exactly the reason that I've got Crashing Drawbridge in the deck. If we can get that out in the early game and keep it out, then as soon as we activate this combo, we can put a load of soldier tokens onto the battlefield, give them all haste with the drawbridge, and swing in for lethal on the turn that we activate the combo. And it's very low. It's a very low mana cost to do it as well, so it is actually very feasible. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed that one. This is a very fun deck from the new Theros set, and the deck list is in the description as ever if you want to see that. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.